Probation led me to prison because I was a big old failure on probation. What's up, you guys? My name's Nicole Pludre. I'm a person in recovery who used to shoot a lot of meth, and I love talking about drugs, addiction recovery, and so much freaking more. And this comment says, please tell us more about your probation experience. Please, much love and respect, and I appreciate you. Do I think prison time was a good or bad wake-up call for me? Thanks so much for asking me this question, and let's get into it. So first and foremost, do I think prison was a good or bad wake-up call? At that moment in time, prison was a wake-up call for me, but it was short-lived. Let me explain. When I went to prison, I only did about 1 year in prison. It was actually 7 months in prison and 3 months in county, so like 9 months total. So not even a whole year behind bars, okay? And so when I went in, it scared me straight. I was so upset. I was so upset that I was putting my parents through that. My mom and dad were coming visiting me every weekend, and I felt a lot of guilt and shame. So while I was in prison, yeah, it scared me straight, and it also prompted me to make choices to set myself up for success, what I thought success would be, which was getting into a sober living facility, paroling out to that, finding a job, and working to get my vehicle back from my mom and dad, because they weren't just going to let me have it back even though I paid that bitch off. But that scared straight mentality, that was short-lived for me, because I am your quintessential drug addict, right? And for some reason, when time goes by, I forget how bad it actually was when I was in active addiction. Please, my son's gaming if you hear him squealing in there. I will forget. I have a built-in forgetter. I hate saying these cliche things that I learned in like AA and NA, but it's actually really true. Like, I would get better and then I would forget how bad it was and I would relapse, and that's what happened to me every single time. My experience on probation was horrible. My probation officer was crazy as hell. She would meet with me once a month, and every single time I would tell her that I was going to fail my drug test. I would be totally honest. I would not try to pass it. But even though I would be honest with her and I would tell her what I was going to fail for, she always made me pee in a cup. Even though I was like, my bladder would lock up. I had really bad like bladder shyness. She took this as me trying to like, I don't know, get by. I don't know, like trick the test, which I was telling her I was going to fail. So what she would do to me, and it was mortifying. Let me set up my tripod so I can show you guys. It was mortifying. She would come into the bathroom with me and she would have me hike my leg up on the wall. Okay, so my foot is on the wall. All right. And then she would look inside my yin yang. She would get a flashlight and look in there. After I would sit there and tell her, hey, I'm going to fail. I wouldn't try to lie and like, I didn't have anything hidden inside of me. I was literally volunteering the information to her that I was going to fail. And she would do that to me every single time, not just once, every single time. It was mortifying. I was on probation for about 10 months. And on the 10th month, she finally said, this is it. I'm giving you one last chance and I'm sending you to rehab. So she found a rehab in Southeast Arkansas, I think it was, in El Dorado. And I went to this place called, South Arkansas Substance Abuse Center. South Arkansas Substance Abuse Center. And it was in El Dorado, Arkansas. I did 30 days there, and when I came out, I relapsed. I relapsed almost immediately. When she found out that I relapsed, I showed up for my monthly appointment, told her that I had relapsed, told her I was going to fail my drug test. She had me do the same song and dance, lift my leg on the wall, look inside me with a flashlight, and then sat there and watched me for 40 minutes until I could finally squeeze out enough pee into this cup. She did this to me this last time, and it was so bad that I was pushing so hard trying to get this pee out of me that I shat. I shat in front of her on the floor. It was so fucking mortifying. But yeah, I was like, I'm telling you, I'm going to fail. Like, so anyways, somebody explained it to me that she had to have the test because she has to show that I actually failed. I don't know, whatever. She revoked my probation and sent me to jail. I got to the jail, I bonded out, and I was on bond for 30 days until my trial, and then I went to trial where the judge basically said, we gave you this chance to be on probation, you fucked it up, so you're going to prison. Bop! I remember I had packed my pea coat full of Xanax bars, and so when he hit his little gavel on the table, I took my hands on, crunch, crunch, swallowed them Xanax bars whole, and then they took me back, and next thing I know, I was out sleeping for like 4 days because I knew I was about to be sick to death coming off opiates, benzos, and methamphetamine. When I woke up about 4 days later, I was in withdrawal, awful sick. But for some reason, for me, whenever I know that I can't get out of someplace like jail or rehab, even in rehab, it's like my withdrawal is not that bad because my mind psychologically knows that like I'm in rehab or I'm in jail. And so I just got to deal with it. You know what I mean? And so that's what I did. I dealt with it. And I was in county jail for 3 months. And then finally, 3 months later, they said, DeMayo, it's time to go. Pack up your stuff. It was 5 a.m. and they took me to prison in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. If you want to know more about my prison experience, comment down below and let me know. But that's a little bit about my probation experience. I fucked off the whole time, and it was fucking mortifying. I had to show my probation officer my lady bits every single month, and she would get all up in them. She probably could smell it, taste it, drip. It could drip on her face. That's how all up in it she was every single month. It was horrible. I'll never, ever forget it. And I'll never get in trouble again. So that way I'll never have to be in that position. Love you guys. Recovery is possible.